Did I, the person I am, just change my shirt so that I don't have to take another photo for a thumbnail? Yes. Am I also sweating to death? Yes. Am I also leaving one of my fans on low because 72% humidity? Yes. So welcome to the weekend revlog. I have mentally moved things around. I haven't with them around physically on my calendars yet, but I think this one is going up in July as well. I think there were supposed to be people on covers with wings was the theme of it, and I will start reading for that one right before this goes up, but doing the math in my head, I don't think I have enough time to read all those books beforehand with the other themed vlogs I'm trying to read, so longer themed vlogs. So here we are, another weekend read vlog, because I have to do one every weekend before I go. It's fine. If you don't know what this is, it is a thing where I read a book over a weekend. There's a whole playlist. I'll hopefully remember to put it up above the cards. You should check it out. It's a fun time. There's a bunch of interesting ones. We have a TBR jar that I choose them from. Pinks are books from my 2024. What's the on? Crying from H Mart. I know if I pull that one, I'm not going to read it just because getting my hands on it, it's extremely difficult and I need to push that back. Yellow ones are a mix of ones that I just randomly threw in last year, right? Leftovers from my 2023 that I never read, and whatever else I put in here. I think The Fish still has some that they put in here from last year as well. So, you know, that's what that means. I know the last one I did was pink because that was Ashes of Gold, and that was on my 24 and 2024, and that was an experience. And we got a pink. Okay, there's no good place to put this, so I'm putting it back behind you. Merry Christmas. Oh my god, it's so hot. It's Cinder. It's Cinder. I could read the sequel, right? But technically, the sequel is on a yellow one for books that The Fish chose. I think I did this in 2024, and I chose the yellow one. I picked up the yellow one. I think that's what happened. I know there's already a vlog on this, so it's going in the trash. Because if it wasn't, if I had picked the pink one, I would have thrown it away. Cinder was in there twice, somehow. So I guess I'm picking again. I'm going with yellow. I'm gonna try for yellow. I'm not looking, but I'm trying for yellow. I can usually tell the difference. They're much thicker. I'll put it there. I'll put it there this time. Okay, let's see this bad boy. You know what? Can we see this? It's the being able to show you that the relative, just cover up my whole entire face. It's My Lady Jane. My Lady Jane. Which I think it was a TV show that was just adapted into. Let me check that while I go and see where I can get it from, but exciting. It's not SMP, it's HarperCollins, so I am reading it. I can get the audio and ebook from either Hoopla or a friend. I may dual read it. I'm behind on my pages goal for the year, so I'll try to do it because it's 500 pages. Over 500 pages. Also, 3 authors, which is cool. I don't think I've read a book that's 3 authors. I've read a few that are 2. But I don't think I've read 3. That's fun. Also, yes, TV show, Amazon Prime. I think this is Enemies to Lovers. If I go off of the compilation videos I have had recommended to me on YouTube recently, like as early as this morning, which is interesting. Anyways, I don't think I have read the synopsis since I put on my TBR, if I even did it then. Basically follows Lady Jane. Wow, I should hopefully be able to remember her name. Who is 16 years old and about to be married off to this guy she doesn't know. And it's all this conspiracy to steal her cousin's throne. But in the process of this marriage, she gets to become the Queen of England. And then the synopsis also said in the style of Princess Bride, so I love that movie, if you do not know. So, good times. Yes, to try and get Bestie the fish to watch the movie with me, I do tell them that Wesley is the same guy who plays the doctor in the first Saw movie. And it hasn't worked yet. I know, right? Anyways, I'll go pick that up from Hoopla right now, because probably their loan limit's coming up soon. So I'll do that. And I will update you at some point tomorrow when I have thoughts and opinions. Because did I mention it's Friday right now? It's Friday right now. So I'll update you tomorrow, Saturday, when I start it and I have thoughts and opinions. Cool. Hello, hi. It is Sunday morning. Should I have recorded earlier so that when I turned the fans off it wouldn't be too bad? Yes. But it is still under 75 degrees in here. It's fine. It's just a little bit of humidity. It's fine. I didn't update at all yesterday. Whoops. I did plan to start the book earlier in the day, but I was like reading another book and I got distracted by that book. And so then I was like, okay, I'll like read a few chapters and then around dinner I'll update and then do another update first thing in the morning, like I am doing right now. And then a thing happened where I got distracted and was hanging out with friends and playing video games with friends. Whoops. Until like 9 o'clock, and I read for an hour and a half of this book, which got me to 28%. So, you know, good times. I think the reason why is because stupid Hoopla on the app, sometimes it doesn't save your custom speed of the audiobook. And so I thought it was 4 times the whole freaking time, but it wasn't, because I'm reading along also at the same time on my iPad. But it wasn't 4 times speed until like the last 20 minutes when I realized, no, it's at 3.4. I'm only slightly annoyed by that. That being said, I'm having a good time. The goal was to reach 50%, and it would have been, I think I'm on like page 170 something. So it would have been another 80-ish pages, which I could have done, being as it was like not even 11 o'clock yet. But, and hear me out, I think because the heat, I started to come down with migraine before I even picked up the book. But it got to the point where like it was like right behind, it still is slightly, this eye, right? And so looking at my iPad screen while reading did not help, right? And then it was also one of the ones that it makes you nauseous, the pain of it does. So I just went to bed. And that's that. Thoughts and opinions though, you know, I really love how it gives you no preparation in the synopsis for Gifford or G. It's as you expect, right? Basically what the synopsis said, which is, I almost said Jane Eyre. No, Jane Grey, right, is the favorite cousin, really closest person that Edward, the current king, the only son of Henry VIII, right? Which, if you know something about me, I am low-key obsessed with politics during the Henry VIII time period and how this line of succession happened with him, Mary Scott, Queen of Scots, all that fun stuff. I am low-key obsessed with all that. In case you're wondering, I did watch some of Tudors, not all of it, but I did watch some of it. It was like one of those things where at a later point, yeah, totally, should watch it. Also, it makes it really funny when you watch a Mortal Instruments movie and the guy who plays Henry VIII in the Tudors is Valentine. Hilarious. I will not be taking questions at this moment. Anyways, so his only son is 18, the king, and dying. Right? So they need to figure out the line of succession, and they decide Jane Grey, his cousin, I will talk about some other stuff in a second, but because of that other stuff, she is kind of the best person to rule because she is very sympathetic for some causes, right? And so they make, but a woman can't rule the kingdom, right? Right? So, they, make it so that her firstborn son is the next king of England, but Edward's kind of down really fast. Oh, now it's 75 degrees. Okay. Just to hear my fan turn on. We're ignoring it. He's dying way faster than they expect, so it's now she's going to become the queen. Right? Until she has a son. she does not know this. He does not tell her any of this. They have like this really close friendship. He kind of always had a thing for her, right? But it was very one-sided, but they were very close friends. She's very bookish and whatnot, all this stuff. The person who's making all this shit happen is his main helper guy there. I don't remember the title. I don't know. Technically the most powerful man in England at the time, who happens to be the father of G. And G, who is a second son, never really expected to come into power, right? So he's also kind of forcing this. They have preconceived notions of the other. He just thinks that she's just like gonna be some ugly bookish girl, and she overhears that he like sleeping with the ladies, and so she's just like, I don't want to deal with a drunk who has sex with all these ladies. Like, oh my god. She does bring this up to Edward, and then Edward threatens him if he ever mistreats his beloved cousin. Kind of iconic. Right? But here's the thing. One, the comedy in this is hilarious. Whoever, like, it's very good. I'm having a good time. And there's this thing where there's a certain group of people, they're called Ethians, I believe, who can turn into animals. King Henry VIII turned into a lion at one point. That was a thing. Right. That is why Jane is going to be queen. Because there are some people who think Ethians should be all killed out. And there's some who believe Ethians, should be in power and all this stuff. And or have their support, all this stuff. Right? So they need someone who won't kill out the Ethians. But also, like, be helpful towards Ethians, but also, like, has some Ethian blood in them so that they can be very sure that they're going to help out the Ethians and all this stuff. And that's kind of the thing where Edward's sisters are very flip-floppy and the other one's, like, very anti-Ethian, right? And so Jane's mother is an Ethian. And so is G. Nobody tells her this. She doesn't learn about this until literally the second it happens. The morning after their wedding. Because he is a horse. He's a fucking horse. Yeah. And he doesn't view it as like a magical power or anything. He views it as a curse. Very Fiona and Trick. But instead of beautiful princess during the day and ogre at night, it is attractive horse during the day and lord by night. It's so funny. It's so, remember, it reminds me of basically any type of like historical drama mixed with when Dangerfield played My Horse Prince. It's so freaking funny, right? Like, it's so good. Like, in the synopsis it mentions a magical horse, but it doesn't mention the Ethians at all. Like, people who can turn into animals, or that the main love interest literally fucking turns into a horse. Fan, please. I'm gonna go turn it off in a second. Anyways, it is a hell of a time. Also, there's comedy about it. One, she makes horse jokes, and he's like, stop it. But also, before she, I think it's before she learns that he's a horse, right? She, like, he's out here just being a horse, right? And she's thinking about this marriage and how she's being forced into this marriage and all this stuff, and she's all like, oh my goodness, I'm being bred off like a prized mare, you know, like a fucking horse. It's so good. It's so good. I get it. I get why people love this. It is so funny. I'm having a great time, if you couldn't tell. It's hilarious. Yeah, it's real good. I recommend if you like fantasy, historical fantasy, based off of true life events, things that actually happened. That's another thing. We like know as people that she dies very quickly after becoming queen. So that's a little suspicious. That's a little weird. What's gonna happen with that? Because this is a trilogy, if I remember properly, if I read things properly. But if you like historical fantasy, light fantasy based off of real historical events that have great comedy, I recommend. Also, a lot of the themes in it is about misogyny in the line of succession throughout history, which is also so funny. Thank you, Fed, for coming back on. At that exact moment, I'm gonna go, because if I don't, I'm just gonna get up and turn it off. And I've been talking for 10 minutes. It's fine, so this is the first update, so it's fine. It's fine that I talked for 10 minutes. Anyways, it was a book that I have gone 28% into. I'm gonna finish it. I may update you 50%. I may update you 75%. I will update you one of those two, and then when I finish, I'm having a good time. It's just a good time. This is just the lighthearted read I wanted. Kind of lighthearted read I wanted when I read some other books for another vlog that I guess comes out before this one. So yeah, the finishing series vlog, I wanted to read a lighthearted, fun, easy book before I read some hard-hitting ones, and it didn't happen. But this is the one. This is what I wanted when I said that. So go me. I'm having a good time. Would it take me less than half an hour to finish this book? Yes, but I told you I would stop at either 50 or 75%, technically 77, because, you know, chapters have kind of gotten longer. Before I, like, to update you, blah, 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 right? I said that. I'm doing that. Look at me. Doing that. Yeah, I'm at 77% because the last chapter was, like, 18 pages. Which is long. We're not going to talk about it. I will say the audiobook's really good. I really like the narrator for it. She does just different enough voices for the 3 POVs we get, which are Edward, Jane, and Gifford, her husband G, and Edward's her cousin, right? So we get all 3 of their POVs, and she does just different voice for all 3 of them. And then also, like, there's like a character named Gracie who's Scottish, so she does a little bit of a Scottish accent for her. Bess is a little bit of a deeper voice, I want to say, than most of the females, because she's more calmer and bright. And then Mary is like even deeper to make herself seem more powerful. And then like Queen Mary of Scotland, because she just came in, is much higher because she's like only 13, right? So good times. Also King Henry of France, the French one. Why were there so many King Henrys at once? His, like, she does a French accent for him. So, you know, that's just, like, it's one narrator, but she does a really good job. Other things. Book, good book. You know, my one thing was, like, what's gonna happen? Because, like, we all know that she gets kicked off the throne pretty fast, right? So, like, what's gonna happen? I didn't bring up the stuff that happens with Edward, I don't think, where it was all conspiracy, right? By G's father. So, he's like alive, just trying to get his kingdom back, and Jane's there, and Bess is there. Current theory, I don't know if it's gonna happen in this one. I assume at some point in the trilogy, Bess will become, the queen. She will be on the throne. Because she's really the only one that's level-headed enough to do it. And good enough to do it. Like, Jane, in theory, would be good, but I don't think it would make her happy, right? Edward, now that he's not king, like, he stopped being king for, like, 2 months, he's like, I kind of hated it, oh my god, and also I sucked at it. Bess gives me, like, she's level-headed and well-rounded, and she's not 16 like Jane, so, like, she actually knows what she would be doing, and be able to, like, do it without, getting all into her own head and whatnot. Seems very much into the idea of making it so the Ethians and I think it's Verities are the people who hunt them down, are like all on one side now, like not fighting each other all the time, because like that's causing strife in the common people and also in court and all this stuff. So which seems the best for like everyone else that's not the main characters, like all this stuff. So my assumption is she's gonna end up on the throne. Like, Edward's gonna pretend to have actually died and he's just gonna run off with Gracie, right, at some point. There was another, oh yeah, so Jane is now at the end, and she is only human during the day, and we've already talked about how G's only human during the night. So they have like 5 minutes able to communicate as humans, and then the rest of the time, one of them is an animal, right? So it's kind of an issue. And everyone's telling them it's like there's no way it could be a curse, blah blah blah. They should just be able to change at will, all this stuff. And she's like, it doesn't make actually any sense though, because it's like clockwork. Like, it makes no sense. It has to be a curse. That's what it has to be. So I wonder if that's actually gonna be a cursing. That intrigues me. Because she's right. That does seem very curse like. Also, her friendship with Edward is just so cute. I love it. And then there's this whole thing where G thinks that maybe her and Edward were like a thing in the past, right? And all this stuff. And so he brings it up to Edward, and Edward's like, nah, I'm into crazy. So now they're like friends, right? Like, they're talking about how they have to go to France, and neither one of them wants to go to France, and they're like, but we like cheese. She's like, I like cheese, and I was like, I like cheese too. That was kind of funny. Yeah. I have just over 100 pages left. Like, it's not gonna take me long to finish this bad boy, so I'm gonna go do that. Currently, I am not thinking 5 stars. I'm currently thinking 4.5 stars, just because this book is 500 pages, and I definitely feel the length at points. The fast-pacedness with the comedy does help a lot, and I appreciate that. It's just like a lot of the in-between stuff felt, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but basically I could feel the length at some points. In between scenes, big scenes, blah 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 blah. That being said, it's not like you have to like read about them traveling from this spot to this spot. It's just like they're like, we gotta go to France, and then they're in France. So I'll give them that. It's like those stupid teleportation season 8 Game of Thrones. God. Anyways, I'm gonna go finish this book real quick, and then up to you. It just reached 2 o'clock while I was recording this. I'm gonna finish this book before 3. Oh my god, who am I? I can finally put my hair up in a bun because I'm not gonna be recording anyway today because I finished book. It's before 3, and I've already put it in the trackers and everything. So let's go. I'm doing great. Remember when I was talking about things, I was like, maybe that'll be in later book series. Well, one, yeah, I was right. There wasn't really curse. It was just the fact that both G and Jane had to admit their feelings for each other. And Bess is on the throne, aka Elizabeth. You know, Elizabeth first. Right, it was kind of obvious if you know anything about history, right? So, you know, good times. Also, I did literally cackle out loud at the end, like at the very end of the book, because when Jane's mother tried to explain to what consummating a marriage involves, she explained it as a very special hug. So when they do the deed at the end of the book, it says it was more than a very special hug indeed, and then it was they consummated indeed or something like that. It was so funny. Anyways, yeah, no, both those things, yeah, I guess kind of right. Not really the curse. I guess it wasn't really a curse. It was just them having to admit their feelings, right? So that was what was happening. And then it ended, and like everything was well rounded, blah blah blah. I was like, is this one of those instances where it should have just been a standalone? Like, it's 500 pages. Like, what more else do you need to write? Like, G and Jane are together, happy. They made their feelings for each other. They're happily married. They renewed their vows as like actual people in love with each other during the day, because I can actually do it during the day this time. Edward's not king and is instead with his Scottish love, and they're happy. Bess is on the throne and actually making good decisions for the people. All this stuff, right? The 2 villains are not dead, but they definitely aren't living lives they never planned. One of them is literally an ass, and by that I mean so you know, that's that, or was it Donkey? No, it doesn't matter. So I was like, what? Because there's 2 other book series. Like, oh no, it's one of those. No. The rest of the series followed completely different characters. Book 2 is Jane Eyre. Book 3 is Calamity Jane. And I also learned, when I was looking up the authors to make sure I haven't read anything from them before, all 3 of them, there is a spin-off series that is it Mary's? People named Mary? I think so. And if it is, does that mean we get an extension of this one with Mary Queen of Scotland? Because that would be intriguing. Because I want to know what's up with her. Like, if there was anything else in the series, it was just more of her. But that's because I have a weird obsession with her. So, you know, that's that. It ended. It was a well-rounded ending. I get it. I wonder what they're going to do with the show. I say that as I haven't seen the show yet. I did literally immediately after updating the last time, immediately go onto Threads and see a post about the show. And about how Jane feels so excited after learning that the guy who chooses her for her mind and not about her looks. Iconic. I do need to watch that show now. Thank you very much for asking. Is it gonna be a type of thing where they follow the books in separate series or seasons or whatnot, or is it gonna be a separate series, or are they just gonna do the one season if the one season just follows book 1? It may not just follow book 1 because book 1's it's kind of long there. It's 500 pages, but now I understand why it's 500 pages, because it's the whole entire story in one. The later books are not really connected, I don't think. Right? So that's gonna be fun. It's a good thing I've read Jane Eyre. It's somewhere's over here on the second shelf. Yeah, that's it. That's everything. It was good book. Had a good time. I highly recommend. This was just a funny lighthearted read I need. So I had a good time. I'm playing with my Kindle charger. I had a good time. I'm going back to reading Rick Riordan. Please pray for my soul. Here's the thing. That's also funny, but it's also gonna break me. At least this one didn't break me. But yeah, I recommend. The comedy reminds me of the Good Omens show, which after Neil Gaiman stuff does come out. I don't want to bring it up, but it did remind me a little bit of the show. And how the comedy was in that. I don't remember the book at all, let's be real, and I read it for one of these. But yeah, good time. We'll continue the series. We'll probably read the Mary series, which is interesting because it doesn't look like it has many people have read it. Like, it's only got a few thousand reviews for each of those. I remember there being a lot of reviews for at least My Lady Jane, and it having like over 4.3 star rating on Goodreads, so it's cool. Anyways, I mean, it must have a high average of readers if it was turned into a show. What am I talking about? Anyways, that was good. I'm going to watch the show. I contemplated watching the first episode and coming to tell you, but I won't do that. I won't do that to you. Mostly because I don't want to do it to myself for editing purposes. Anyways, book, good book. I was right. I rated it 4.5 stars, but I did put it on my favorite shelf. It was really good. Should I make time to read the rest of the series? Yes. Will I? No. In my defense, it's not like I need to like immediately read them to remember certain plot stuff that happens in the first one, because it's not like they're really connected. They just all follow women in history named Jane. Well, Jane Eyre is a fake woman, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Oh wait, that's it. That's it. I cannot remember my August schedule. It's all blurring together in my brain. I'm pretty sure next up, well, after this will probably be my August DBR, let's be real. But next vlog will probably either be the Wings vlog or the Kindle Unlimited vlog. One of the two. Those are 2 things that are coming out. So, like, stay tuned for that. I don't know. I'm filming this, like, 3 weeks in advance, so who knows. But thank you for coming. Fridays, in the links below, there is Bestie, but there is also, in the links, the podcast YouTube channel. It goes up every Friday at 10 a.m. It's also Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I always forget about that part. And then Fridays here, me gaming videos, good times. I think that's everything. I'm gonna go watch some YouTube. That's basically, this is all I've been doing since like 11 o'clock, so I'm gonna go. My brain hurts still, so I'm gonna drink some coffee and eat something and see if that helps. Goodbye. Thank you for coming. I think I've already said that. I'm just gonna get bye.